Hello guys, really excited today because I get to put potatoes in the ground. We have 3 varieties of potatoes. Let's get to it. So a quick side note, before there were open flat landscapes and pasture land where it's just prim and perfect and there's only like 1 or 2 species of grass, a few weeds. Basically what I'm getting at is, without an full ecosystem, trees, dead leaves, dead branches that build the soil, you do not have a complete system. So by removing the trees, by removing the self-replenishing, self-fertilizing system, by breaking it in half and just saying I want this flat land where I'm going to grow from a substrate and use the sun. That's all very well and good short term, but in the long term it will not work. This is why permaculture forests are really taken off, and it's always been like the ideal solution, where you don't monocrop in one area, you spread everything out, you work with nature, and you decide, oh, I'm going to plant some squash there and corn there. I'm going to use this dead tree for beans. I'm going to use this high canopy partial shade of apples, or you use the environment. So here it is not ideal for potatoes necessarily. However, with every negative there is a pro. The soil here is incredible. Yes, it's full of rocks, and yes, it might not be that deep, but you can make it work to your advantage. So it may not look pretty, and I'm not allowed to cut the trees down yet because of licensing red tape, which I'm waiting for my license. It takes a while. We're on an island in the Atlantic Ocean. They just don't let you move onto a plot of land and cut everything down in one go. Fair enough. But I'm going to work around these trees. To be honest, I probably won't spend the effort taking them out anyway. As soon as I get the license, I'll just cut them as low down as I can, leave the root systems in the ground. They'll rot over time and feed the soil again. And I'll obviously use the branches and the leaves from the top to throw back on as mulch. As you can see from the time lapse, there is so much mulch here that is replenishing the soil, creating this closed system where the plants grow, remove the nutrients from the soil, they drop their leaves, they replenish it. So I'm going to keep prepping this ground now for the potatoes and just see what it looks like. There was way more rocks here than I even thought there were. I really didn't want to lift up rocks today, but hey, that's all we do on this land. But it is opening up, and the potatoes will love this rich topsoil. Let's get back to work. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this area. Even really close up to the eucalyptus tree, the bottom there, it's still very good compost. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I'm on about this really good growing. This is full of eucalyptus leaves. It's always just remaining wet, so it's always decomposing, and it's just full of life. Next area I'm going to clear is just this side, other side of the wall. I'm going to push those rocks back up and then rake off this mulch so I can see what I'm dealing with. I bet you there's way more rocks in there again. Today in the forest, I'm not sure whether it's because we've had all this rain or not, but the pittosporum is so fragrant. I'm not sure if it's the time of year or whatever, but it smells incredible in here. Like lemon, really strong citrus underneath the eucalyptus tree too. It's just so nice. I've got a big rock here I need to shift out. It requires a mattock, so I'm gonna go grab that. I think I left it down there. A quick rebuild of the wall just to get the big rocks out of the way, then I'll throw everything over the other side. We'll do that in a bit. Yeah, it's looking a nice area, to be honest. This might actually be bedrock, which is not great for a potato bed. Yeah, that ain't coming out. That's fine. We'll work around it. All right, let's get the rake. Get the rake on that. See what we're dealing with. You feel like a bit of a archaeologist, peeling back the layers, discovering where the bedrock is. just heard something vibrating, and it turns out that it's this amazing bumblebee. We have beehives across the road there, so I wonder if it's from there. So anyway, the rock is bedrock, but I think it's just a small section there, just up from it. There's really good deep soil. We'll work around it, moving on. Oh, what's really nice about one of these trees though is a strawberry guava. They produce tiny little fruit. We've not tried them yet. This guy here looks like a moringa almost. Beautiful. It's very stocky because he broke. All right, back to clearing. Okay, so most of the area is the topsoil is clear. Big job. I believe there's a lot of rocks under here. I'm gonna work to clear this area, but what I'm gonna do is just push all of this mulch back up on top, onto the top wall there, because I want to keep it up there composting and feeding the eucalyptus trees as well. Yeah, way better than I thought. Some really big rocks there. I think what I'm going to do is clean this area behind me on the floor down here. Just stumbled across this really nice piece of rock that I threw out earlier out the ground. Hasn't seen daylight for a while, maybe hundreds of years. Looking good. Really nice. So we are growing potatoes in a forest on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Here are three varieties of potatoes. Let's start with the most interesting, purple variety. We got a red and a slightly whiter reddish colour one, I'm not sure. I'm going to let these potatoes sit here and chit, activate, or get into growth mode. Walking away thinking, I hope the birds don't eat potatoes like that. Or mice, forest mice. Alright guys, it's been a week. The potatoes have been here in the forest, chitting away, growing their little sprouts. Let me show you them. I was going to put planting them on hold because we need to cut down a lot of these trees for the house build. However, I'm thinking let's just get them in the ground. I'm just worried about falling branches and tree trunks, that sort of thing. But I think we're going to be okay. And the idea is today, plant them in the ground, and then because I couldn't find any hay, it's been really rough weather at sea recently, so the boats haven't been able to make it actually onto the island. So a lot of the stocks, shelves, everything are really, really low at the minute. The supermarkets are empty. We didn't have meat there for about 5 days, and there's not even any vegetables on the shelves anymore in some of the supermarkets. So yeah, potatoes in the ground, mulch them, throw some fertilizer on top. Actually, I will save the fertilizer until they're actually growing some roots. So as soon as I start to see the greens, then I'll throw some fertilizer on there. That'll just be an organic pellet manure type fertilizer, and that'll be it. Because we're using the existing decomposing forest matter, the leaf mulch, the sticks, that sort of stuff, it's already started that decomposition process. There might be some an element of added heat, which is beneficial. Obviously, increased heat means increased enzymatic reactions, which will speed up growth. So we're going to use the forest mulch instead of hay. It's a bit of an improvisation, however I believe it will work well, if not better than hay. So hey, let's go do it. So obviously, because of the environment we're in right now, I'm just shoving the spade into the ground, making sure that there's some depth underneath the potato when I plant it. So obviously I'm pulling out rocks and removing any root systems and things like that I find. But this area here, I've just cleared. When you're growing potatoes, what you would do is you would say that's the ground, you'd plant them in the ground, and then as the shoot pops up, you would then recover that, and then it would grow some more, and then you'd cover it back up again, and you do this for a little bit at the beginning stages until you've basically filled the area you can. See how I'm dealing with all these roots? That's just how it is here. You can't beat it. We're in a forest. And ideally you want the chitting side of the potato facing the sky, obviously. Okay, so I've just done a long line of potatoes down here. Let me just quickly show you that. We've gone potato in the ground, cover it with soil, add the decaying mulch, which is going to provide more nutrients, and that's the first layer. So what will happen is the potato will pop its head through of that mulch in I'd say about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we're just going to recover it with more soil, more mulch. And I've never done it like this before. This is using what we have. It doesn't look pretty, obviously, look, but I promise you these are going to be some good potatoes. Give it 4 months, I believe, 5 months, and you'll see these will be some mean potatoes. And the idea is to stack probably a good 6 inches of soil and mulch on top of those potatoes. Here we have a beautiful line of potatoes. All right guys, hands in the air. I'm going to change my tactics slightly. We're going back to the traditional method because I didn't realize just how much compost and soil I had on the forest floor here. Instead of going flat then adding the substrate on top, the mulch, I'm going to do a mound because it appears that I have enough. Look what I've done with these. Hopefully you can see that on camera, but there is a lovely mound there all the way down, and this is the walkway down the middle here. So what I'm going to do is remove all the mulch on the left hand side here. It'd be easy to do, and then take off the soil from the pathway here on this side and then throw it on and mound those potatoes. Okie dokie, fingers crossed you can see this. I have a row along here and a row here. The purple potatoes are in all of this section here, all the way to the top. From here you can just about see I have 2 rows, one moving up there and then another along the back there. This job was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, but we're putting in the groundwork and we are clearing all these rocks out the ground, so next year it'll be even easier. There we go. Oops, just shut on the potato patch. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe and do all that. Very new channel, as you can see. We've got plenty more on the way.